divided it. Heartbroken family as Reece Walsh paid tribute to her daughter killed in Sydney, CARPARK, NRL rumor. Under the sodium haze of a Sydney car park at dusk, where the echo of screeching tires lingers like a ghost in the gathering dark, can one father's whispered vow amid shattered glass mend the unbridgeable silence left by a life stolen too soon? It was a humid evening in late October 2025, the kind that clings to the skin like unspoken grief, when tragedy etched its cruel signature into the heart of a family forever altered. In the shadow of a core stadium, cradle of NRL dreams and heartbreaks, the West Tigers faithful had just spilled from a Friday night clash against the Sydney Roosters, their cheers dissolving into the mundane rhythm of departures. Among them was the Jamieson clan, a tapestry of Tongan heritage woven through generations of Sydney's western suburbs, where rugby league isn't just a game, but a sacred rite of belonging and resilience. At the center stood Lonnie Jamieson, a 32-year-old mother whose laughter had long been the melody of family barbecues and school pickups. Her 2-year-old daughter, Aria, strapped securely in the back seat of their weathered SUV, tiny hands clutching a stuffed kangaroo plush. Beside her, husband Mika, a burly linesman for the NRL, whose calls on the field shaped fates, navigated the crowded lot with the quiet vigilance of a man who knew life's fields held hidden snares. Theirs was a life of modest anchors, weekend drives to the Blue Mountains, dreams of Aria's first tackle in juniors, until the screech pierced the twilight. Please like, share, and subscribe for more Sport Talk content. As engines hummed and headlights sliced the gloom, a rogue vehicle, driven by a distracted soul later revealed as a fleeing joyrider, barreled through the barriers, its path a reckless arc that collided with the Jamieson's car in a symphony of crumpling metal and splintered glass. The impact was merciless, Aria's world inverting in an instant, her fragile form no match for the physics of fury. Medics arrived to a tableau of heroism and horror. Mika cradling his wife's bloodied form, Lonnie's screams a primal dirge that silenced the lot, while sirens wailed like keening ancestors from distant islands. The crowd, once a river of post-game banter, froze in collective paralysis, strangers forming a human cordon around the wreckage, hands clasped in silent prayer, a burly Roosters fan shedding tears for the tiny voice stilled forever. Whispers rippled through the throng. Not the little one. God, no. As paramedics worked with desperate precision, their faces etched with the stoicism of those who bear witness too often. In the chaos, Mika's phone slipped from his pocket. Its screen cracked but alive, capturing fragments of the fray, a father's guttural plea, "Stay with us, baby girl," that would later surface as raw testament. Hours blurred into the sterile vigil of Westmead Children's Hospital, where beeps and murmurs yielded to the irrevocable hush of loss. Aria Jamieson, a spark of unbridled joy with curls like midnight waves and eyes that mirrored her mother's fierce tenderness, was pronounced gone at 9:17 p.m., her brief light extinguished in the prime of potential. Lonnie, battered but unbroken in body, collapsed into Mika's arms, their wails a duet of devastation that echoed down corridors lined with faded posters of league legends, men who chased immortality on turf, powerless here against fate's indifferent strike. Yet in that abyss, a flicker of grace emerged, unbidden and profound. Word reached the rugby fraternity like a relay passed in sorrow, drawing forth Reece Walsh, the Brisbane Broncos prodigy whose own daughter Leela had become his North Star through the tempests of triumph and trial. Walsh, fresh from the Ashes sweep that crowned him a Kangaroos immortal, had returned to Sydney for a ceremonial nod at the Dally M Awards, his heart still tender from tours that separated him from Layla's bedtime stories. Hearing of Aria's passing through mutual kin, Lonnie's brother, a former junior teammate in Queensland's sun-baked fields, he arrived unannounced at the hospital under cover of night. The turning point unfolded in a quiet antechamber, away from the fluorescent glare, where Walsh knelt before the Jamiesons, his premiership ring glinting like a borrowed halo. She was light itself. Lonnie murmured through sobs, clutching a photo of Aria in a tiny Tigers jersey, while Mika's voice cracked with the weight of survival's guilt. Walsh, eyes glistening with the empathy of a father who knew the fragility of such bonds, enveloped them in an embrace that transcended the game. A simple act, yet seismic in its symbolism, his whisper carrying the quiet thunder of shared vulnerability. Layla's got her guardian now, up there cheering us all on. The room, heavy with the scent of antiseptic and wilted flowers, seemed to hold its breath as Walsh pulled from his pocket a small hand-painted token, a nail-polished charm etched with unbreakable, a nod to his own rituals of resilience with Layla. He placed it in Lonnie's palm, their hands a bridge across grief's chasm. The family's fractured circle momentarily whole in the presence of this unlikely sentinel. Outside, a handful of nurses and kin who had gathered paused in hushed reverence, tears tracing paths down cheeks weathered by long shifts, their soft applause a fragile counterpoint to the night's earlier cacophony. In the days that followed, Walsh's gesture rippled outward like a stone cast into still waters, igniting social media with a cascade of raw humanity. Clips of his hospital vigil, shared anonymously by a nurse's discreet post, amassing over 5 million views on platforms from Instagram to X. Hashtags like For Area and League Hearts trending alongside prayers in English and Tongan. Fans from Brisbane's northern burbs to Auckland's harbors flooded comment threads with stories of their own losses, a digital wake where strangers mourned as kin, while NRL accounts reposted with captions urging unity. In loss, we lift each other. News cycles, often voracious for scandal, softened into elegy. The Daily Telegraph's front-page feature wove Aria's story into league's lore, interviewing Mika on the fields where he once officiated dreams now deferred, his voice a gravelly hymn to perseverance. English outlets, still buzzing from Walsh's Ashes exploits, drew parallels to the Code's trans-Pacific soul, born in Yorkshire Mills, nurtured in Pacific passions. A reminder that rugby's true arena spans hospital beds and car parks alike, where heritage isn't in headlines but in the hands extended across divides. Fan reactions poured like monsoon rain, Tigers supporters lighting candles at Leichhardt Oval, their scarves draped over Aria's photo in a makeshift shrine, Broncos faithful in Red Hill pubs raising glasses not to victories, but to the quiet courage of showing up. Walsh's authenticity a balm for a sport shadowed by its own rumors of detachment. This tribute deepened the cultural vein, echoing league's roots as a working-class confessional, where coal-dusted ancestors in Wigan wept for lost sons, and now in Sydney Sprawl, a father's solidarity honors the unbroken chain of care amid calamity. The aftermath unveiled layers of quiet reckoning. Walsh delaying his flight home to attend a memorial at Parramatta's Town Hall, where Tongan hymns swelled with the voices of hundreds, Lonnie's family enveloping him as brother, not star. Whispers of rumor, sensational threads on fringe forums questioning motives, faded against the authenticity of action, revealing instead the humanity beneath the hype, a narrative shift from Walsh's on-field flair to off-field fortitude. In the tender folds of reflection, this moment pierces the veil of sport's armored illusions, laying bare the universality of